Hello, welcome to our second episode of Detoxing. I'm Dr. Grace Nambata Cheyune, Executive Director, Natural Chemotherapeutics, Ministry of Health, and your supporter in Aging World. Together with
Lalule Joanita, I am a nutritionist, and welcome back to our second episode of Body Detoxing.
In our first episode, we took you through what detoxing is, and natural ways through which the body takes care of detoxing. We briefly went through some of the ways we can embrace to ensure detoxing, and we ended on a note of
The myths.
yes, ways of having ready-made detox. We had that demo of a powder, and I think we can pick it up from there.
Yeah. Yes, so I think you can expound on the different myths that are out there on the different detox products that we have on the market.
Yep. So today, we should, I think, look into the myths.
Yeah.
There are lots of myths out there. When you say detoxing, somebody says, I don't know, want to have diarrhea, which means people relate diarrhea with detoxing. Yes, there are those detox recipes that really take people through diarrhea, and one has to really take care, because in the gut we have those important microorganisms which we shouldn't really get rid of, in a sense that if somebody gave you a detox that really takes you through diarrhea, they should also take the trouble to give you, we call them probiotics that should enrich the internal system. Short of that, you can end up into unsolicited food challenges.
Yeah. Yes. And in addition to what Dr. Grace is saying, we hear of a condition called hidden hunger, or what we call micronutrient deficiencies. And some of the causes of this can be excessive detoxing. Using some of these products on the market, you excessively detox. Let's say every week you are using this, and you're getting rid of, let's say if the product is giving you diarrhea, you're getting rid of these very important microorganisms, you're getting rid of important micronutrients in the body, and yet you're not replacing them. So you end up getting you end up becoming deficient in most of these micronutrients.
So, in a nutshell, excessive laxatives, because detoxing, we can also, when we say those that take you through such excessive diarrhea, we call them laxatives, something that causing you to really pass out a lot of water. Those laxatives, they need to be taken with caution. They should be from an expert, like we really said, and sometimes people take them through enema. This process where there is a forcing of purging the system. That should be done through healthcare providers that are really, really experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other myths you can share with us?
I think there is a misconception of thinking that since the body has a system of detoxing, like we said last time, there are people who know that, and they think, the body can take care of itself. They just throw in anything goes. You're pouring in fizzy drinks, a lot of salt, all the toxicity without care. So that is a myth, because the the body can really get confused.
Overwhelmed.
So you're overwhelmed. You don't want to overwhelm your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's move on to, can we know the modern causes of the toxic burden in our bodies?
Modern causes. Toxic burden, if we started with foods, with modernity, incidentally, we've just copied things without thinking.
Yeah.
We tend to have this thinking, things bought like maybe from an outlet is better than what is picked from the garden, not knowing that foods maybe in outlets are for people who don't have gardens. But if you have a garden, you have access to a garden, you want to have your food full of fiber, the way God intended. So you may have the processed food, fine, but it should be in moderation. Yeah, we should. The most important thing is to know, I'm eating this sausage, it's processed, but I shouldn't eat it Monday to Friday, or I should eat it with vegetables. I should put on kachumbari, you know, that knowledge is very important. Yeah, so foods that are devoid of fiber, like why should I eat sweet potato powder if I have a sweet potato? By the time I think of maize flour, if I had maize, while somebody say I don't have time to prepare the maize or something, but at least knowing is very, very important. Alcohol abuse. We talked of alcohol as being toxic, especially to the liver. So the liver, okay, goes through neutralizing, but then don't overburden it. That's why if you know you've taken alcohol, then take care to have fruits. That's why when people are nursing a hangover, they go naturally to feel like somebody wants to eat a pineapple, to eat mango. So you are supporting the liver to do cleanse. The smoking can intoxicate the body and the lungs. We talked of the lungs. And this intoxication can be very serious. For example, the lungs were created to have inflatable, inflatable spaces. But the intoxication can lead to hardening of the spaces, the lining of the spaces, alveoli, and then you really have these lungs that are not functioning well. And we know that you may not be a smoker, but you could be a passive smoker. For example, if you had your partner is smoking, you're not smoking, but even you nearby. And sometimes, if you're a passive smoker, you may even suffer worse consequences. So, pesticides, in Uganda, we don't have control over who your neighbor is, incidentally. So, and again, we go to the market to buy food. Little knowing whether pesticides were used. So here we need to know, how do I clean this fruit before eating it? And the simplest way, you may have baking soda, put it in water, rinse the vegetables or the fruits. If you don't have baking soda, this ash from, the charcoal, the ash, you can also boil it in water and use that water to cleanse. Actually, you're detoxing what you're going to eat. So the essence of cleaning up what you're going to eat is also a form of detoxing.
On top of that, I think also medication. There is a certain age people reach, maybe let's say 65 and above, or 70s, where medication, they can't do without medication for high blood pressure, for diabetes, cancer, and they're taking
A
all
cocktail.
these sorts of
A cocktail.
and it's the body really gets overwhelmed,
I'm
the
telling
liver,
you.
and you need to find a way of
Detoxing.
detoxing all these toxic components. So you can really balance your diet with fruits, vegetables, drinking some good liters of water a day.
Lemon juice, like the water you can add a slice of lemon. That slice detoxes the water, and then you really, I think, and again, that kind of water hydrates the body, because it's one thing to drink, but it's another thing to retain the water. So if you really alkalize your water a bit, for example, when we say lemon, put it in water. Lemon is acidic, but incidentally, when you put it in water, that water leaves potash in your body, so that is like as good as alkaline water. So it really soaks you up, and it's like it dehydrates you. That means it can cleanse you up. So it's really important, and you may not gulp a liter in a sitting. Take small portions. It's not easy, by the way. And actually, some people in Uganda say, for me, I don't drink water, and they say it with pride. But our bodies, a very big percentage of water, our bodies is water. And if they remove that water, like if you are dehydrated or had running, in a few minutes you're almost gone. So the water we drink and the level of hydration, the power of hydration, is very, very important.
Yes, thank you so much. So as we sum up, can you at least leave us with a few ways of self-detoxing strategies?
Actually, as I talk about self-detoxing strategies, the simplest way is if we could ensure that even the environment we are in is clean. Sincerely speaking, there is laziness around. You find somebody staying somewhere, and just a few meters away there is litter, there is this, but just by you looking at a littered environment stresses you unconsciously without you knowing. For me, I told myself that if I had a neighbor, if the neighborhood was so filthy, I'm lucky my neighborhood is not filthy, but if it was, I could volunteer cleaning for keeping myself less stressed. So our environment, even where you stay, if you can remove clutter from around you to remove that stress, then get into a habit of not over-sitting, because we move seated on borders, in cars. If you have a chance, like you go to a building and yes, there is a lift, but you take the stairs so that you keep remembering that when you're active, you are also detoxing. Then water drinking, move with your water. Or think about it. When you think about it, it will lead you into action and actually the payoff will be the good feeling and aging well.
Wow, thank you so much, Gabrielle.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, our viewers. This sums up our episode 2, and we shall be answering your questions next time. If you have any, just stay tuned. Thank you.